Ain't really how I started it. It's how I continued it. Because I never wanted to swim. Yeah. They tell me I just had a tumor.
And welcome to another episode of the Reset Podcast. I am your host, Johan, once again. Now, as you can see, we missing like 75% of the panel. You know what I mean? But not to worry, that's cool. No big deal. But the most important thing is we got the big dog,
Alejandro.
and we have our special guest, Shawn Neely. All right. So, before we get into everything, I mean, y'all really should know. Y'all should know who this man is. He's keeping it to being. You should know who he is. But before we get into his story and everything, how y'all doing? How y'all week was? How y'all day was?
And we alive, so
Right.
can't complain.
Thank God for life. Tell you what.
I enjoy my vacation, brother. I want you to know that.
Yeah.
I enjoy my vacation, brother.
Just living life.
Living life. Living like Larry, boy.
Must be nice.
Okay. Then.
Living like Larry.
Must be nice. Type Y. Yeah, though, I can't complain. Life's good. Life is cool. You know, we've been to Miko game. Shout out to Heat Wave 242. Unfortunately, they didn't get a W, but you know, that's something we can talk about another time. Another time. Tonight, we focus on Mr. Neely. So, before we get into the swimming, outside of swimming, who is Shawn Neely?
Shawn Neely, you know, chill guy, man.
Chill guy.
You know, nothing too crazy.
Right.
I feel like I'm a simple person, you know. You don't really see me around that much, you know. I like sports. I like jump canoe.
Hold up.
Whoa.
See, you press a button just
Who
now.
group you with?
I didn't know. I see him before, so I know.
I'll tell you why. You said it, you with us.
I know you was a Saxon.
All right. You know what it is. You know what it is. So who you with?
Roots.
I can't hate. I can't hate.
Saxons and roots start down there, and ain't no big vibe between that.
No beef.
Ain't no big vibe between that.
Y'all.
Anyway.
So you can let you continue, yeah.
You know, John Gnu, man. You know, ain't nobody probably gonna know me, but I was a big, I was big behind the scenes.
All right.
But
What you do exactly? You don't mind me asking. Like,
the podcast don't know that we talk about
Right,
the
right.
podcast, but you know, I do some videography and some film work, you know, graphic design. You know,
Nice,
I help out in the shop and stuff like that.
Of course.
You know, little small things behind the scenes.
Mm.
You know, my old man been in Roots since
The kingdom come.
almost since I born. So I been born, bred, dead Roots. You see what I'm saying?
All right.
Never been nothing else.
Yeah.
Since from lose fourth place,
All of that.
last place.
To the level 2 straight.
Yeah.
Can't forget that.
Yeah. See, because they don't remember that 2 straight.
That's Jungle fanatic.
They don't remember that 2 straight. I like that.
Christmas do come twice, guys. Christmas do come twice.
But yeah, you know. So I be around, you know, the shop. We get out in one shop.
Right.
Mhm.
You know, I be around the shop from like a toddler. You know, in the
You
shop,
know
beating the
Jungle
drums.
inside. Oh.
Beating the drums. Yeah, man.
Oh.
Yeah, man. I don't be on the road. To be honest, I never rush in like a big parade. I rush junior jungle and stuff, but I never rush in a big parade because I was, you know, focusing on school and
No, that is.
swimming. You know, that has taken up plenty time, so couldn't really focus on jungle. But you know, after coming out of school, grade 12 and stuff like that,
Right.
you know, I was getting in the shock a little bit more, and I started to get a little bit more invested and stuff like that. But yeah, I was in the shock from toddler. You know, I used to be over the hill, by the temple, in Bientan.
Oh yeah.
In Bientan. We used to be over in the back there. You know, they used to call me Bum Baba Bum. Well, they still call me Bum Baba Bum. That's my jungle. You know, everybody get a jungle nickname. Ain't nobody get a. Most people get a jungle nickname.
If you don't have a jungle nickname, that just means you are not known. I mean, I ain't not known a jungle, but like, cause I don't got a nickname yet. But like,
You ain't even gotta be known to be honest.
Countless nicknames, but like straight across the board.
You at least get 2 nicknames.
At least.
At least 2 nicknames.
Legit.
So they call me Bum Baba Bum because I used to beat out because they used to store some of the bass drums
Right.
at the temple. So I used to be beating on the drums. They used to call me Bum Baba Bum. But they just call me Bum Baba Bum until this day.
Right.
All my daddy boys there, man. Most of the people like who was there in Roots, but a long period of time, or even if they leave Roots, they just call me Bum Baba Bum. So
Wait, what a bait. Damn. You really been in jungle for a minute, bro? That's tough.
I probably can tell you when every parade from probably 2013. That's when I probably remember.
Good man, right there. Good man. Good man, man. Good man. Anyway, we ain't gonna let Jungle take all of that though. We gonna let him take. So
this ain't no Jungle
right. But
Wait, I want you to know, wait. If honestly, one of these days, one of these episodes, you have a Jungle episode, and you gotta come back to
the
that.
everyday episode. It's coming.
All right, then. I can be there for that.
Hey, if you can make it, then you know. We'd have you.
And you're look unbiased. I like that, man. I like a good unbiased Jungle conversation.
We have a one family person who's been on the panel. He's played baritone for one family. Then one of our production guys, he's an old Saxon, but he don't rush no more. So you got a diverse panel. We got a diverse panel.
We love a root. Two Saxons.
The stinking volleyball.
You know, it always got to be a volleyball. It ain't which volleyball is though?
Yeah. He didn't even know.
The new one.
He didn't even know. He didn't even know.
World famous, not before it.
Not before it. World famous, the show to New Year's Jungle, but I ain't gonna lie, they the show.
I ain't getting in that.
I ain't getting in that either.
Tell you, I ain't getting in that.
I ain't that, you know.
Right. All right. So, how did you get into swimming?
Well, my old man is actually a swim coach, so it really all started with him. You know, when he was young, my grandma wanted him to do something different.
Right.
So the story really came from him. You know, I just had to know how to swim because my old man is a swim coach.
Right.
So you know, your old man can't be a coach and you don't know how to do what he is coach.
No,
you see what I'm saying? So that's how it came about. So the story really, the origin of like, you know, swimming really came from him because my grandma wanted to do something different. You know, everybody's playing ball, everybody is running track, you know, baseball. Like, why you don't do
something different?
Get your black kids in the water, learn how to swim. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. So he learned at like a later age, but he eventually got good, and you know, he decided he went to school and stuff like that, but he eventually decided to become a coach. He was, you know, training to go to like big meets, like the Olympics and World Championships. Unfortunately, he never got an opportunity. I believe he said he's like 1/10 off like going to like either it was World Champs or the Olympics. So yeah, he was that fast in his time. He was that fast. That was like the 90s,
1/10 is a serious. I don't think. Wait, just a minute. Every second counts. I mean, how you dive off the board, how long you stay under the water, how fast your stroke is, how fast you turn over. Every second counts. But if you could shave off time and you dive, you might could beat someone else who faster than you. That's just how crazy just everything is, bro.
And that's the same thing with track too, but it's so much. I feel like with track, it's so much. It ain't as much.
What, knowledge or something?
Much of a head step as it is in track. So if, like, say you take off faster than other bike, the other bike could still beat you down. But in swimming, it ain't the same.
It's so much in swimming.
Yeah.
If you see it, it's so much. It's
so much detail.
Yes. I feel like it's plenty detail in track. But if you actually swim, you'll see how much detail
goes into it.
And like it's actually skillful too. I feel like.
Oh, most definitely, for sure.
I feel like it isn't like basketball and stuff where you gotta work on handles every day and you gotta work on your shot and your free throw and post game, this, that, and the next, like all that other stuff. But at the end of the day, it's still skill. It's still kind of skill based to a certain extent.
Right.
You know.
And the next thing about swimming, well, you could do all the hard work in the world, but if you don't have the talent for it, you're mash.
You ain't lie about that too.
You're mash.
I mean, that's the same thing with any sport.
Right, that's true.
No, but like
swimming,
with swimming, you really have to have talent. But like, if you don't have talent, you will get blown out of the water by someone who just started swimming a couple months ago. But you could be swimming for 5 years and you get blown by the water by one serious. Wait, talent play a serious part, brother.
Wow. That's interesting. Wow.
And
like Michael Phelps, he was the prime example. That nigga's a unicorn. To this day, that you could have like 5 laps on this nigga, and this nigga will still bite you down.
Right.
Bite you down.
Right. But, piggybacking off of that, and like that's how it's like that in all sports. But swimming, like you know, my old man is a coach, so I been coaching from 9, like every summer. I had no summer job. I was coaching. I was at the pool coaching. That was my job.
You was like in that.
Like I was in that, like, you know, people have a summer job, like they come here
Yeah,
and work,
like,
or they
yeah.
you know, they work at some type account firm, or
Like,
there's
no.
no way. Every summer
Hey.
I had the pool.
Kudos to your old man for that though. He's making sure you was, you know, it wasn't no jokey type thing. Yeah.
You know, so like that's how I kind of got. I used to be mad about it because I used to be like everybody else, this, that, and the next. But you know, it was kind of a bigger picture. You know,
Yeah, man.
I was learning, and on the top of that, like I learned how to work. But at the same time, I really didn't get anything for it. But I realized later on in life, like when I got like 15, 16, 17, that I actually getting something out of this, you know, just getting my school fee paid, just keeping the light on type of thing. So that's how I kind of look at it. And I realized that without my help, you know, stuff could have been different. So he needed me to step up. And, you know, he never really pushed me, never this, that, and that. But he said, you know, Shawn, this, that, and the next. Sometimes he don't even ask, but I just step up, maybe, you know, my old man need help. Because at the end of the day, we have our own swim club. It's a family business. So, you know, I help, you know, get us to where we want to be.
Yeah.
I have a question. As you coach, did you got better at swimming because of it?
To be honest, I never really coached. I never really started to coach competitive swimmers. So I always knew the basics. So I could always tell you, or catch up stroke, or this drill type of thing,
Right.
for a basic level.
Right.
Like putting your face in the water and breathing to the side and stuff
the
like
stuff.
that. Like I know how to teach that. But when you get into, you know,
No, for sure.
competitive swimming, like the details and what you say is very important. And I'm still learning and grasping that. So that's where I'm trying to go. I'm trying to learn that now a little bit more. So yeah, I always teach like the basic level. I never used to like the little small children though.
Right.
You always give them you give them to the
Yeah.
girls because they a little bit more. They like, you know, girls like little small children. They can laugh up and they can play with them.
Yeah.
A man, they can.
You ain't
Are
into
you
all that.
crying, boy?
You ain't
You see
into
what
all
I'm saying?
that.
Why you
All
crying?
that.
Little man, stop crying, boy.
But I have a question for you. So, at what point you felt like you fell in love with swimming?
When it's a couple different points, you know. The crazy part about it is, back to like the origin of me like swimming, like it ain't really how I started it. It's how I continue with it. Cause I never wanted to swim. That's the crazy part about it. I never wanted to swim. What happened was, my old man started a new club. I never liked swimming. And when he started his new club, I used to swim for, I don't know if y'all know Betty Cole.
No, I never heard of it. You might have heard of it.
That's the that's the
Sure.
pool by the stadium, right, where she used to teach.
No, she passed away, but she was like she was old, short, you know, white lady.
She have
She used to be by Xavier's. Yeah, curly hair.
yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about, but
Yeah.
I wasn't familiar with her.
The crazy part is, my old man never teach me how to swim. Betty Cole teach me how to swim.
Wow.
That's
and
crazy.
And some other people who, her and my old man teach how to swim. My old man never teach me how to swim. My old man say, I will never teach my son how to swim. He sent me to somewhere else.
How come?
I don't really know. He
But-
could probably explain
Then
it,
why? Yeah, right.
but I don't want to really say the wrong
No,
thing.
no, that's fair.
But
Yeah, understandable.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
for
yeah.
Sure. Understandable.
But everyone have their reasons. I ain't gonna lie.
Oh, yeah, because
When you see certain things, you always have your reasons,
yeah,
brother.
for sure. For
I
sure.
feel that he knew somebody else could do it. So, you know, like, and he never used to even teach the basic level. So that's one reason too. But my old man, like, the crazy part about it, through my whole swimming career, because he being really my main coach through my whole swimming career. Then when I went to college or I go off on the national team, he being my main swim coach, basically my whole career. So he never, like, you'd expect, like, because that's my old man,
Right.
I would be doing private lessons, and I would
Right.
no way private lessons when I go there with the club and we have practice, whether that's 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I doing what I need to do there and then.
Right then and there.
He never used to treat me like nobody different. He used to go at me knucklehead, but he used to show the big pool, aquatic center. He showed in the pool, everybody there. But knucklehead used to do me dead part. He used to treat me worse than everybody else.
Yeah.
But I used to get the same treatment. So it wasn't no private lessons, it wasn't no nothing.
Right.
The most, matter of fact, the most we'd ever talk about it is when like we on our way home or this, that, next, and we did that when as I get older. But we barely talk about swimming. Like, to be honest, like if we talk about swimming, like it'll be like one day of the week, or we talking about like the club, or we talking about like somebody else. But we'll never talk about me.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
He'll never go home and be like, boy, you ain't work on this and practice.
Right. But you still turn out this great? Wait, that's insane to me.
But like, as I said, fathers have certain reasons for doing certain things.
No, I agree for sure.
But like, I feel like his mentality, he didn't want you to think he only love you. He might only not want you to think that he only love you for swimming, and he just wants you to be some different. Cause like, certain swimmers, I ain't gonna lie, certain swimmers can't talk about swimming, and certain swimmers could talk about swimming. So like, he might just be like, wait. It might not be talking about something, but we could talk about something else. We could find other common ground. We could find other simple things, you know?
Right.
Simple things.
Let me ask you this question. So what is your fastest recorded time? And can you elaborate for people that don't understand swimming, like how impressive it is?
All right. Okay. First, I can start off with my best events and what strokes I swim. So that's a story in itself. But
We have a story time segment coming up. So you trust
take
me.
your time,
but I'll start off with this.
Yeah.
So basically, as of when I last swam, because I can't swim right now, we get into that.
Right.
But as of when I last swam, when I was swimming, I was moving towards fly. So fly was moving towards to be in my best stroke. I suppose
Butterfly.
On butterfly. Yeah, butterfly.
Right,
For the podcast, I'd say butterfly because we just say fly and press. We just
Like
say the
swim
first.
terms,
You don't say butterfly and freestyle.
Fly.
We just say free. Free fly back breast. That's all we say. But for the podcast, I can say the full name.
Butterfly, yeah.
So I was swimming fly. I was training. I was going all out fly, and then it was freestyle like right behind that. I was a breaststroker, which we can get into, but I moved away from that because I just was naturally good at fly. But like he could tell you, because we had a conversation about it before, fly just like you gotta be mentally tough. Like you could be good at fly, but you gotta be like mentally tough because your arms, like because fly fast, you know. Yeah. Fly almost as fast as freestyle. But like it is kill your arms. And I leaned towards breaststroke when I was younger because I didn't want to swim fly because of my arms.
Right.
Because my legs was always my strength. I was never really, you know.
Right.
So I leaned more towards breaststroke. But as I got older, I just used to swim fly with ease. But I never had the endurance. I could have swum a 50. But 50s don't be at the Olympics. They have been world champs, but they don't be at the Olympics.
Right.
I couldn't finish 100 though. And then I realized, I said, boy, I could take if. I remember one time I get in the story time anyway, but I remember one time I saw him 100. And usually you want to take your 100 out a little slower than your 50. Just control, similar like a 400.
Oh, okay.
So
I
just take it out,
right,
take it out, control,
okay.
Maybe like a second slower.
Right.
Maybe like a second or a second and a half slower.
Pace yourself.
It depends on what type of racer you is. But for me, I'll take it out like a second slower. So my 50 fly time at the time was basically about 26 flat. 26 seconds flat. It was my 50 time.
Yeah, explain to people like how impressive that really is. Like,
Let me say so.
26, I was 16. I was 16.
Let me say something, guys.
Yeah.
Firstly, butterfly is the hardest stroke no one to mind. No one to mind. You want. So this is you in the water. This is your legs. This is your body. Your body has to come up the water, arms out, head up, go back in the water.
Right.
Wait, when I tell you that, bro, you more likely could only swim that for one thing. That's your whole body. Worst stroke known to man.
Do you know what the world record is right now for
The
flag?
world record in that would be, it would either be 21 like high, like 90,
Oh, goodness.
21, 90,
Okay, so-
or like 22 low.
Nah,
Maybe 20,
okay.
I'll say 22 flat.
I'm grasping how impressive that is. Oh my god.
22 something.
You just 4 seconds away, brother. My god. You just 4 seconds away.
4 seconds in the 50 is a lot though.
Like, yeah.
That's it.
So-
Now with that,
But I was just 16. I was 15,
So
16.
yeah, that's boy.
nah. See,
And the crazy part about it, one of my brethren who was swimming with me, he was insane fly. He could have swum all the strokes. I was never really a good box rower. He could have swum all the strokes. Devontae Carey, I was going 26 flat. He was almost going 25 flat. That same race, he was 25 flat.
You still swimming now?
No, I think he, I don't know if he retired. And I don't know what he's doing now.
Right,
but
yeah.
he graduated. He done finished college.
Oh, okay.
You know, he swam I think he swam McKendree D2. You know,
D2 is tough.
yeah. So he swam
Tough.
D2. And McKendree is like a top level school in D2.
Yeah.
Like, crazy. Like, they like top level D2 could go into D1, like, and compete D1
Yeah.
type thing. So, yeah. So he swam there. He did 5 years there. So I think he graduated either last year. Yeah, 2024. So. I don't know if he's still gonna swim now, but I know he's still up there. So yeah. But
He's gonna say something, sorry?
he was fly, back, breast free. He was crazy. His back stroke was even more crazy. I think he was going before he stopped swimming, he was going like 25, 50 back too.
you run.
See, but like, sure, you know, he used to swim, so he.
Nah. I ain't no competitive swimmer, so don't try searching up. But I got this. So I could swim, and I knew some. Wait, you want? I don't think you understand how 26 flat is. No, okay. Let's say this like this: the high level swimming, it's more down to details. So that 26, he might get shaved that down with certain details if he's, you know.
Right.
But like
Right.
to have like 23, 22, the detail. Dog. Your dive can be wrong. Your backflip can be wrong.
Yeah.
Your turnover can be wrong.
Wait,
Nothing can be wrong.
but before we get into our last question, before the heat of the week segment, I want to ask you a question about. Can you explain like what's it like when you? Because I've always seen it, right? But I never know the feeling. What's it like when you do that little kick off of the wall and like?
The
the
flip.
underwater?
The flip.
Or
The flip.
the underwater
Yeah.
and like the flip turn.
Right,
like
yeah.
when you
The flip turn, yeah.
turn and-
Yeah, what's that like?
I mean, I like being swimming so long.
It
Like,
ain't nothing special.
like
man.
it ain't,
special?
it
It's not?
ain't,
Yeah, that's
My bad.
special.
I thought
it ain't. But it
That would have been
basically,
like so amazing, like just you know, like
it's like everything like it's like you wake somewhere, right? And you
Yeah.
wake, let's say you wake somewhere for 20 years, everything naturally you. But
I
a
feel
newbie come
Right,
and
right.
they like it's like that to me. I could do that from 8 years old.
Yeah.
So people who learn at 11 and 12, you know,
Yeah.
yeah, but I learned them stuff from so long. Like I perfect most of my technique from so young, like 8, 9, 10, that when I reach like 13, 14,
Some of
where
them
my
stuff
age
is
now,
just like-
it's just like second, it's be like, when I see like other swimmers come, I be like, why you can't just do that?
I understand the feeling.
But I said, I think that, boy, I
not
been doing
everybody
this
had
so
that.
long, you know.
Yeah.
The flip turn. Okay. Well, the first time I do it, I could do it. After my first 10 times, I could do it properly. But the first time you do it is be hard to. Now, see, for me, I'm a very tall guy.
Yeah, you like 6'5". I mean, he tall too though.
So like,
6'3", 6'4",
I like 6'2".
6'2". All right.
so like, it is be hard to flip and find the wall at a perfect length where you could just push off perfectly. So like, say you flip, you could overthink the wall thing, and with me, I like long,
Yeah,
so
you
I could always fit
miss-
it.
You could miss the
You
turn.
could miss the turn, like you could mess it up, and you could just push off wrong. You could push off slow.
That's what kind of happened when I went to college, because at college, I know plenty of people don't know this, but in the U.S., high school and down, college and down, like school-wise, they just swim yards. They mainly focus on yards, because in the U.S., swimming is so prominent, they get up their own system. So like, they swim yards because most people in the U.S., they know they gonna never have a chance to really be that top swimmer. Because you know you get all of Michael Phelps and Caleb Dressel and Ryan Lochte. Like they know they ain't gonna never make it to the national level for the most part, or they can try, but they know they ain't gonna really be. So plenty of them don't look forward to that. They look forward to swimming in college, and after that they just they just done. So because it's so swimming is so deep over there that they could basically have their own Olympics because they just got so much people.
Wow.
So they swim yards. So everybody who swim over here and like different parts of the world, when they go over there, they swim yards, and they like the only country who really does yards, to be honest. So when you go over there, you gotta switch like your whole the way you swim and everything, because it's almost a different sport. It's like running like indoor track. It's like a whole different timing system.
Right.
Like a 45 on an outdoor track and a 45 on the indoor track. That's two different stuff.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So short course yards, like for a 50, is like, and instead of like LCM, long course meters, a 50 and short course yards is like 3.5 seconds faster on average. So when I went to school, I was swimming. My best time is 23:53. When I went to school, I swam my best time. I really should have been faster, but we can get into that. I swam a 20 low. That's yards.
What you just saying?
You see what I'm saying? So in 100, it's 7 seconds.
Right.
So the turns come in a little closer. So I used to swim in longer, even if you swim in an SCM, which is most of the pools around now. Short course meters, which is 25 meters instead of 50 meters. So you don't have to do a turn for 50.
Right.
But the wall is like the pool way shorter. So when you swim in the pool, it's like everything come closer. So I used to, the wall being down there, so I have to remember how to gauge the turn again. Even though it's closer, I have to remember how to gauge again. So I was missing turns my first year. When I went down in 2022, I was missing turns left and right.
That must be tough.
I was missing turns left and right. And even my second year when I went back, I still couldn't get
I just can't ask how long it take you to adapt.
Like it is like, it's crazy because it's almost a whole different other sport. And like in swimming, underwater is faster than on the top of the water. So they made a rule of the 15-meter mark. You can't go past the 15-meter mark underwater. Only on breaststroke. Because breaststroke is a pull-out.
Right.
One kick, pull down, kick up. You see what I'm saying? So only on breaststroke you can go past the 15 because you only could do a certain amount on breaststroke. But every other stroke, you only could go to the 15. So if you pass the 15, you automatically disqualify. But in a short course yards pool, the 15 almost close to the 5-meter flag. So by the time as you reach in, people only like breaststroke, fly, back, freestyle. Some people, if your underwater is good, like if you swim and fly, because fly have a longer stroke. You swim and fly, you know, the best swimmers in D1, some even in D2, they only take in maybe on 100 fly, because we don't know if 50 is in NCAA. They only take in 1, 2, 3 turn. Some of them even take in 2. So it's an underwater game.
That's insane.
That's an underwater game.
That's very insane.
It's an underwater game. Long course meters, you can't do that because if you come up at the 15, you get 35 more meters to swim. It ain't no more underwater. But if the wall right there, you coming up, you doing 2 strokes, you going back underneath the water. So that's a whole different game. See, my game is always long course meters because I was a better swimmer on the top of the water than under the water.
Right,
I was never good at underwaters.
Wow.
So I used to get killed. Like all my brethren, my teammates, my old man could tell you, he been working on it for years. He been beating it into my brain. Even up until like, you know, I went to college, he's like, yeah, underwaters gotta get better. Because I would get my brains burst open off the start, off the turns, underwaters, because I just wasn't powerful. I just couldn't do underwaters. Like that was my weakest. Like I would literally like I was saying Vante, I would come up like a body link behind Vante, and I would run everybody down. Everybody know I can run them down.
Yeah.
But you only can run somebody so much down in a sprint, especially a 50. Yeah. But I had that speed on the top of the water though.
Wow. What you gonna say?
Wait. I don't think you understand how hard it is to pull off 3 strokes and turn over, dog. Dog, top.
That's
1,
insane, bro.
And you under the water too, so
3.
that means you getting them 3 strokes and you going a spot. You going all out. So you getting and you back under the water to go another 25.
That's insane.
Like people don't know how crazy it
Wait,
is.
swimming is crazy at high
Let
level.
me ask you this, and this is our last question before we go to our Heat of the Week segment. But what was your like pre-race music or routine like?
Pre-race, I get plenty things. No, I lied. Let me not say that.
No, man.
Man, say
I
it.
gapping.
But before
I gapping.
before you start, cause see let me tell you what the past 2 guests. So the past 2 guests, we had Corey Moss. He's going to play Division 1 football.
Yeah, I watch that one.
Right, yeah, and he's a R&B guy, right? Which is
R&B guy?
crazy. Before you go on the football field, then we had the son of Sydney. Sydney said she listens to gospel, and I think something else, but mostly gospel. So Jonathan Nelson. So for you, I really interested to know.
Yeah.
You know what's crazy? I wouldn't say I have pre-swim music or pre-game music. I can be real.
Oh,
That's
wait,
I
that's crazy.
I cannot
Wait.
listen to anything.
before you go in the water.
Like up until my race, I can't listen to anything. But I must say, like up until that point, like if I get ready for a big meet like nationals, or let's say back in the day, Garifta, or in college conference, or big meets, or just a meet on the whole, like I just would listen to stuff the day before, and I'll hype up myself the day before, or like a little bit before my race. I cannot listen to stuff like an hour before my race. Like after I warm up, I cannot really listen to music and stuff like that. The only thing I could do, not like in my ears, I could listen to like outside music type vibe. Like so usually like we'll have like a speaker or something like that. But if it ain't a speaker, like I just be vibing to what's going on around me, dog. Like whatever they playing on the swim meet, I just vibe too.
That's just it.
Like, cause I was the type of person when I come, I just like, people like come, they like come with like,
You're just in the zone.
they like come with all these sweater and hoodie. Oh boy, I already got my cap, my goggles on.
Serious?
I don't, cause I used get anxiety. Like if you ever did sports before, you used to have that little anxiety where you used to be shaking and you don't do nothing properly.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Yeah.
Like
I
if
did
you
break
do
out of
sports
that.
before,
Yeah.
like you get another anxiety because your adrenaline building up, and I know how I get. So I don't want no AirPods in my ear and think I just be fidgeting and stuff like that. I just need to relax, and
Take your
I don't.
time.
That ain't what I need to be focusing on. I like the vibe to like what's going on around me, especially like a big meet like nationals and stuff, jumping on the stands and people just be cheering. I watch the other races and stuff like that. I just be locking in.
zone.
Other people they different. They just be listening to music and things.
Yeah.
I really can't do that. And then plus plenty times like on a national stage, like boy, we just be getting off. Boy.
You right? Like, how do you mean, like,
Like we little like swimmers, like back in like the day before, like plenty of like the older swimmers like my age and up like stop swimming. Like we would be like we had this vibe called like in the prelims, we would be like, boy, we'd come. Because it's 15 and over now. In swimming, it used to be 15 and over. They have 15 to 17 now and 18 and over. But when I was swimming, like when I did first turn 15, it was 15 and over.
15 and over.
So we was racing one boy called Variance. I don't know if y'all know Variance Burrows. He's like, I think Variance been to the Olympics like 2 or 3 times.
oh, snap. That's crazy.
He had the fastest 50 free in the country until the mile break broke it. So we was racing people like him, and we was 15.
No, that's
We was racing people 20 something
that's
and
wild.
up.
That's why.
So that was like the fun part of it. And some of us was actually,
Catching up.
well, like you say, you get your time at 16.
You know?
So yeah, right.
So it used to be little live.
Yeah.
But when we'd come there and do, and we'd be like, man, where we going, man? So, because it's prelims,
Yeah.
if we know everybody around here could go, let's say is a 50 breast, we know everybody could go at 32, we can say, boy, 32 is finals, right? You just come there, we'd be sitting down, we'd be like, 32 is finals, right? We just getting right off. 32 is finals, right? Yeah, but we can do 32. Everybody just go 32 or under. Round that range. So we just sim 32, and then we bust it out in the finals, see who can get smashing in the finals.
I like that. That's like a totally different dynamic. Change of the sport. It ain't like basketball, it ain't like football.
Yeah.
It's like,
So we just getting off because like we chill. Like we
Wow.
competitive, right? But we chill.
but no,
Because
yeah, I understand. Yeah.
we know certain people gonna make it.
Right.
Because like me, my best time in a 50 breast was 31 low. So if somebody tell me 32, I can go at 32. But if somebody like my brethren Isaac, also Olympian, he was going, I think he went like, his fastest time was 27. I said, I could swim a 31, 32 with ease. So he chilling, he going to 30. You know, he making it. So they saying 32, and whoever getting, like everybody will actually swim 32 round that range. The fastest person might go at 30, because that's going to be somebody who just fast, way faster, you know?
Yeah.
But we can chill, and, you know, whoever get leave out. Because it might be 10 people who going 31 and under. Because, like, that's how stock it was. Because we was racing people who was 20-something, 20-something, 30-something, 25, up to people who 15.
Right.
Who still swimming that 15 thing.
Right.
So, just like a whole field, like, crazy. Like, it was stock. So, it's like we used to do that, and then we just used to see, we go all out in the finals. I remember one time, with that same format we was doing, I get leave out, because they say, boy, 101 make finals for 100 fly. So I say, I can go 101. So I end up being the person with 101 who come ninth.
Wait. If you ask how that is, wait.
I end up being because they say 101 make finals. I go on 101 like 5. Somebody go on 101 like 1. So I end up getting leave out. They get 8th place. I get 9th. I get leave out of the finals. They say 101 make finals.
They never say high or low.
They ain't lie. My 101 just saying make the finals.
That's all. They ain't wrong with that.
They ain't say high or low though. They ain't say high or
So
low.
I get catch. And I was kind of I wasn't going like slow, but I was going like 90%.
Yeah.
I was going like 90%. So I wasn't going like max, like 100, but I was going nice. And mother's like, I gotta put my all into it. But see, we use the one save energy because you don't want like go all out and then we gotta go all out again because that's nationals.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? We got other meets to focus on and stuff. Yeah, man, you know, go too hard in the prelims, but you won't even let the little Japonies come behind you, you know? Especially when I was 15, them people who 19 and 20 and 23 and think, I want me, little 15-year-old, spank off their head, so they gotta swim out of Satan, you know, pace.
Yeah. All right. Well, you got a question, fam?
You used to swim IMs or no?
No, I was never really an IMer, but I could have swum an IM.
IM is all the strokes. So for each lap, different stroke.
Yeah, I seen that race before. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
That's a crazy race, brother. Wait, that's a crazy race.
Most people who swim IM, mostly they can swim all the strokes, but they are very good at breaststroke. They're very good at breaststroke. Breaststroke is probably the most important thing in IM because most people are not good at breaststroke. There are people, like, I know people who are excellent swimmers, but they cannot even kick breaststroke.
And freestyle would be like the easiest.
Like, he say fly is be the hardest stroke. Fly ain't really the hardest stroke. I mean, fly might be the hardest, like, just on your body.
Yeah.
But breaststroke is the hardest stroke to get down, technique-wise. Because some people can't even get the kick.
Right. Firstly. If you could do this part of breaststroke, you could. But then the kick part is the failing part, brother. Wait, I can't do the kick to this day? I want you to know I can't do the kick to this day. Bro, I'll do this. I'll do this. Perfect. As soon as I start the kick, I ain't moving dead in the water.
Man. All right, we'll break for our Heat of the Week segment. Brought to you by Sports Center. We'll be right back.
Hello. This is the Heat of the Week brought to you by the Sports Center. This is your host, Alejandro. And I'm bringing you the KD17s, buddy. Wait, that's a crazy colorway. These look like Cheetos, I ain't gonna lie. The first time I saw these, I thought they was Cheetos. But I put them on my foot, they comfortable, they sleek. But I drop 20 points in these, you'd be dunking niggas, bro. Cold, boy.
And that was our Heat of the Week segment, brought to you by Sports Center. So now, let's get into some more of Mr. Neely. You want to talk about your cancer journey a little bit first?
All right. Oh, that's a long story.
Oh, take it down.
That's a long story.
The floor is yours.
All right. You know, you'll get the exclusives. This is the first time, you know, I get to tell, like, the full thing. Or at least, like, you know, because I been on the news and stuff like that. But, you know, they only got a certain amount of time. So
Right.
they putting that into 3 minutes.
Tell me about it.
You see what I'm saying? So, you know, I just grateful to be on the news. I happy everybody who reached out to me and, you know, had me on the news to, you know, spread awareness for, like, cancer on the whole, my cancer,
Right.
you know, my story and stuff like that. So I appreciate that.
Didn't you have one of the rarest cancers?
Yeah, I can get into that. So, to start off, I went off to school. This was 2022. Started 2022 January. I started at Delta State University. I was just getting acclimated. So around about February, I realized that I started to get a little bit of swelling. Now, what happened was, I was like, I can just sage it up, and you know where MD. You just look at that and just be like, boy,
That ain't got it.
that ain't gonna happen.
Yeah.
And then be like, you have a headache, oh, you get a brain aneurysm or something.
They do everything and start listening.
And every time I go on web MD, it's like, them stuff ain't never happened. So I look at the sweat and I say, man, this is what they say it is. They just
Yeah.
I must see hey something. There's something wrong with me. So yeah, I look at it. But then, it started like heating. Started getting bigger, this, that, next. I wasn't minding it. Really should have minded. May come, I going home. Out of nowhere. Like literally, I must see the day after I land from home. The swelling get worse.
Terrible, but
And the crazy, unfortunate part about it is like where it was. Because how it is, you could tell somebody you get swelling in your scrotum. You see what I'm saying?
yeah.
So nobody could see it because you wearing pants and stuff, you ain't walking around naked. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
So nobody could see it. So that was the hardest part when I first going through it. Nobody could see it. Nobody could see the tumor.
So nobody didn't even bother you.
So nobody know when I was going through it. And I was the type of person, and my family, we very,
Private.
Like I was a humble person. I ain't gonna be like, oh, I get cancer. I ain't gonna tell it. People that get cancer, they just, it wasn't on that run. But at that time, I didn't know I had cancer yet. I didn't know something was wrong. So I was still swimming. I was still doing stuff. But this thing was getting big. I can't remember how big it was at that point. But I remember by the time it's I got it removed, because it was growing and it did stop because it couldn't get so big. It was like a big balloon, boy. It was about big, almost big as a water ball. It was filled with fluid, boy. It was almost this right side was filled with fluid, boy. Filled, boy.
Yeah,
crazy. And the crazy part about it, I couldn't even show nobody no picture because ain't nobody showing nobody no picture of that.
No.
So it's like people even my friends and things when I talk about it, it's they don't even tell me about it. I just know you going through a lot. But
Hey.
it's that was the crazy part about it. And to be honest, I know that it's going through, so it's and I know what it was after that point. So I was I wasn't hurting my head or where it is and this, that, next. At the end of the day, that's where it was. But it was crazy. It was painful.
Imagine, bro.
It was painful, and then I started to grow a tumor. The tumor was small at that point. But what they said on MD is that you could have cancer and that could be a tumor growing in that area. So I had a tumor growing in my groin, up here. And I had the fluid coming in my scrotum on the right side of my scrotum. So it was filled, I was less hanging down. So I was literally I literally was getting to the point that I couldn't stand like this. I was walking around like this. By the time it's July came. And I say, I was fine in May. Not fine, but I could have still move regularly.
Move around, yeah.
But I came to the point I had to stand like this because it was so big.
Right.
But May, June, I still swimming. And the crazy part about it is our nationals usually be in June, the end of June. They moved nationals back 2 weeks to almost independence. And that's the craziest thing, right? Because that never has happened. And I can't remember why they moved it that year. I was that's crazy. So while that happening, my stuff getting worse. I reached a point that around the end of May, around the end of May, start of June, I cannot even I could barely dive. I could barely swim. It hurting. And then our swimsuits they tight and stuff like that.
Tight, yeah.
Tight.
Tight, yeah.
They stretchy. Our training ones ain't too tight, but they stretchy and stuff like that. But they still
Still, yeah.
And we gotta do certain movements, turns, and all of that. So it was getting very uncomfortable. So I was getting to the point that I could barely train. I was just doing what I could. Like I just was in pain. By the time it's like June come, I was in pain. And then one day in June, I went to do starts because we have like different blocks. We have like the official blocks at the aquatic center. So I went down there to do some starts because we don't have them type of blocks at our pool at St. John's. I went to do a start and I literally couldn't bend down. Like I got it on video, like I couldn't bend down. I was good the day before that and I wake up the next day and I could not bend down. I was like, mother sick. I was like, this is crazy. Matter of fact, that was in the start of June. I think that was like the start of July. I think that was like around the face, the end of June, start of July. That's when I couldn't bend down. I was hurting before that, but that's when I couldn't bend down. I literally couldn't even bend down like this to start. I usually used to start on 2. I used to put my block on 2, like you know how they got like the staggered thing. I had to put it on 5.
Wait, if
5 is the furthest one. I had to put it on 5 and put my foot high because I literally couldn't bend down. Like, and even on 5, I was going down slow like this, in pain.
That's when you didn't know you had to go to.
I was like, that's when I know I had to go. My boys and me was like, but you got to go to the doctor, boy. So that was a Friday. That next week, I scheduled an appointment, or I think that next week Monday or something like that, because that was a Friday. So you know, doctors open on Saturday and stuff like that.
Right.
So I been to the doctor like that Monday. They look at it and it's like, well, I can't deal with it because that's just the regular doctors. So they just tell me what it is and then they refer me to somebody else. So they refer me to a urologist going through you. Well, no, that didn't happen yet. What going on was they tell me at the doctor's office, they give me an appointment. They call the office. They give me an appointment. They say the only appointment you could get is July 13th.
Oh, boy.
That's the start of July. July 13th is 3 days after Nationals. July 13th is my birthday.
And mentally right now, your mind on everything except
that.
Going to the, wow.
So, I trained hard. You know, I really didn't perform how I wanted to perform at school because so much went on, like, the start of that year. And, you know, I was getting acclimated. I got COVID. My cousin had died, like, in 2021. So, I wasn't even swimming. I wasn't even swimming for basically the whole of fall. I didn't start swimming until, like training hard until like November, like actually training. So like I just was out of shape and you know just getting acclimated, getting in the gym and stuff like that, just all new stuff. So I just didn't have the type of performance I wanted to have. So I was trying to make that up at Nationals, trying to make some teams and stuff like that.
Right.
Focusing on my fly, like I know I was gonna go crazy. Like it's gonna got a movie, it's gonna be a big movie.
Big movie. That ain't happening on the carpet, brother.
So they tell me, boy, I gotta go down my birthday, but I gotta focus on Nationals face. So it's like the doctor, not the urologist now. This is the same doctor I got who, you know, tell me I gotta go to the urologist. He's like, boy, we can give you these meds, but we don't really advise you to swim.
Oh, shoot.
I was like, boy, I swimming, but you know how hard I train?
I'm telling you.
You know how hard I train? I then disappointed myself. I swimming, bro. And then on the bottom of my mind too, it ain't only me, the younger children in the club look up to me. So if I ain't swimming, they can look at me, oh, why Shawn ain't swimming?
Right.
You know? So it was them two main reasons. I say I swim for myself and I swimming, for them because they look up to me. If they see I ain't swimming, little children and people younger than them, they don't look at the positive.
No, but they see the negative.
They see the negative. As soon as I do something negative, they gonna want to follow. But then, so you always gotta be in line. So I say, but I gotta swim. So they give me the meds. I was off the meds. The pains like stopped for the most part, but I still couldn't like do certain stuff like range of movement, stuff like that. And it still used to hurt when I like swim a little bit, but I just getting through it. So yeah, Nationals reach. Like I say, fly is my best stroke. That's what I was focusing on. I swim my fly. I swim under fly. That was the main race I was focusing on. That's the first day of Nationals. I went a best time. I dropped like a second, but I didn't swim nearly what I was supposed to swim because I couldn't.
Right.
I just was. I wasn't training like that. I barely was training like that. Range of movement gone.
Bro.
I was like, bro,
Wow.
okay, cool, but I still going best time though. With cancer, didn't know it yet. With cancer, swimming with a tumor.
Man, that's tough.
So
That gotta be like some type of Guinness World Record.
Wait, serious? Something?
That gotta be something, bro.
So, you know what's crazy about that? My coach at school, he's like, he didn't know about it yet, but he didn't know that I was swimming with that. And he's like Shawn, like, I really applaud you. And like we have a really good relationship, like from my event there, and then going through this whole cancer thing, like, he's like, but for that moment, right, he's like, I really applaud you, because he said he know himself, like, when he was my age, like, he would be in the bathroom crying. Even at his big grown age, he would have been in the, like, that's what he told me. He's like, he really, like, you know, respect me for that. But that's just me. Like, I work hard, I can do something. I don't care. If I able to walk, I can get on the block and I can swim. You see what I'm saying? That's,
We got some strong individuals who's come on this.
They be strong, brother.
I mean, at this point in time, I'm pretty sure you saw the Sydney episode, and if you haven't, go watch that episode, bro. Like, her brother's story where she got in a whole car accident on her birthday, and she still had to go play a whole tournament, and she, bro, like,
Crazy, bro.
utmost respect to both of y'all, but like, legit, bro, like, that's insane, man.
But that give me goosebumps, dog.
that's only the start of that.
Oh,
right.
So, I went, the 100 fly didn't went how I wanted to go, but I went a best time. You know, I went a 56. It wasn't where I wanted to be. I know I gotta be in at least, no, let me don't say that. Or should I say it?
You can
Say it, man. Say
I
it,
know
man.
I should have been at least 2 seconds faster than that.
So you're 50 flat.
54.
Before? Okay.
Yeah, 2 seconds. So, about a 54. If I were in 50, I should have been at Tokyo. I would have just been, not Tokyo, Paris. I would have just been mad. Because that's 50 flat. That's almost the world record.
Boy.
So, yeah. But I know I should have been around the 54 area, at least 54 high.
At least.
I was really disappointed, but I was like, you know what, we get other races to swim. So after that, I was like, I get 50 fly, you know. I swam a good 50 fly the year before I went 25, 4. So I was focusing on trying to go 24. I know I could do a 24 because I was in training fly, like how I was training fly that year. So I was like, but I know I could go at 24 with ease. The 50 fly came, I get on the block. They say, take your marks. I bend on. I am peeing.
Feel like,
I am peeing. They going down, they going down, they going down, they going down, they going down. Bam. He say, go on. I said, I know I get DQ because you can't move. But the crazy thing about the 50 fly was, like, if in swimming we have something called tech suits. Like, they very expensive. The high level ones is like $300 to like $500.
what they do, like?
Like, they give you buoyancy. They next the skin.
Oh, okay. All right.
So they like take some of them fast to put on, some of them take I wouldn't say hour, like 30 minutes to put on.
But did it didn't mix them with just skin?
Yeah, so they like skin tight. They just keep your hips up on the water.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
it's you got it. If you the more buoyant you is, the more fast you going.
Right.
And like they get different ones. They get like distant ones, one for power, one for They get lightweight ones. I like the lightweight ones a little bit better, like more on the lighter side where they in, like, cause they get like ones that like compression ones, just like it's help you kick and everything. Like they have bonds in it, but it's help you like when you like kick it's help you be more snappy with your kick.
Right.
So like they really beneficial. So like they said move through the water faster, keep you buoyant, all of that. So they get different ones with different benefits, but that's what they do for the most part. They probably even more important than sprints and like track.
Whoa. Wow.
So, yeah. But, yeah, I was wearing a tech suit. And the tech suit, I decided to wear that day, knowing that I had a tumor. And if you swim, you know that in the tech suit,
You see everything better.
your things, you
can
barely
see
fitting
everything.
there. When you in, and you know, you see what they saying?
Yeah.
So, I was struggling, and I was in pain. I was standing there like this, and it's like, but Shawn, you straight? Like, all my brethren before the finals, like, Shawn, you straight? I said, yeah, but it's like, but you don't look good because I in pain. The thing ready hurting, right?
And you just add more on
And
it.
I trying to put on this tech suit, the friggin'
Yeah.
carry on bod. I'm motherfuckers ain't even the finals, the prelims. I didn't even make it to the final because I get DQ. So I in so much pain, I can't bend down in the suit. DQ. To make it worse, I was in so much pain, like I was in aggravating pain, like this whole area,
Yeah.
aggravating pain, and I had to swim fly. And I was like, boy,
Yeah, but it.
I ain't gonna look like no chicken, boy.
Right.
Boy, that was the longest 50 of my life, bro.
Your life, I can imagine.
I was in aggravating pain, but I said, boy, I'm not stopping, boy. For me,
Yeah, for you, for your
And
pride.
for them, all them little children who looking at me, because they can see, the thing what they can say, when they in pain or when something happen to them or the goggles pop off, oh, well, I see Shawn do it, but he finished at 50,
but now they know. They say, Shawn, do this with an old tumor, bro. Like, I mean, let me keep going, bro. I understand, bro.
I ain't gonna never be that guy to say I ain't finished, but he finished at 50, bro. I go on, must see at 35.
Much respect.
I said must see 35 seconds. I must see like 10 seconds over my best time. Everybody was gone.
Go on, finish.
Finish.
And but I looked to the side because like our tent is be like at the 25-meter mark where like our club is be. I breathe to the side. It's like I dying. I really just wanted to stop and go right there. I said I gotta finish this bike. I come back. After I finish the race, my old man say, "Boy, you ain't get to swim no more.
Yeah,
Don't swim no more." I said, "Yeah, but I done. I gone home. I come back. Like, yeah, but I ain't swimming. I can't do nothing. Like, and then you get discouraged. If I can't be my best, then I ain't doing nothing. Don't make no sense to swim. That's what I had to do. Be my best, and I can't. I ain't there. I ain't train. Like I ain't train like I supposed to train. I in this pain. I can't put on no suit. But it don't make no sense. I wake up the next morning. I had 100 feet that morning. I say, boy. Say, ain't never, boy. I John Cena, boy. I don't give up, boy. I wake up that morning. My daddy say, boy, what's going on with you? I say, boy, swimming, boy. And he's like, because he ain't never forced me to do it. Yeah. I mean, I was over age at that point. I was 18. I was 18 or 19. So he ain't, I know I think I was 18. No, I was 19. But because you know how far it's gonna be, like, try hard,
Yeah, I know, for real, yeah.
But I was like, or he'll just be like, boy, don't swim. But he'll go like with how I feel, and he's like, boy, if you want to swim, you want to swim. But he's the one who kind of convinced me in a way. He's like, boy, don't swim, you just start the next. Like, he wasn't telling me don't do it, but he's kind of because I don't, But I was like, I wake up the next morning, I agree with him, even down to the finals, because that was the prelims and all, and I go on to the finals like, I ain't swimming, like, because I was only swimming 4 events, and I have 1 event each day, and the thing is 4 days. So I go on, I wake up that morning for 100 free. I was like, but are you swimming this? I'm swimming this 100 freestyle. No,
that's a crazy nigga, wait.
He might know. I don't know if you know about the drag suits. Like, they ain't just a regular suit. They like the suits we just put over the top.
Yeah.
I swim, and you ain't even supposed to swim like that. I swim with a drag suit. It's basically like a big. It's like, it ain't like a pants, right? But it's like a pants. It's like a swimming pants. So
it
that's like
swim trunks than anything.
Yeah, it's like a swim trunks over, like a little short swim trunks over your thing up. That literally, it's called a drag suit. So you know what to do. It's drag you behind.
Yeah.
I swim with that because it's like a baggy suit. So I swim with that with no swimsuit underneath that. I swim in a drag suit, but everybody walking up to the block, they get on tech suit and this, that, and that. I can't get in that.
Yeah, you can't do it. So
I in my drag suit. My holy drag suit, but supposed to be for training.
Yeah.
I step up to the block. I send my 100 free. I come for it in the finals. I make it to the prelims. I come for it in the finals. I swim my 3 seconds with my best time or 2 seconds with my best time. I think I'm going like a 54, 55. My best time is 52 from the last year.
Still great.
Yeah, wait, so the fact that you beat people, the fact that you beat people is crazy, brother.
In the final.
Dog, you beat people in pain? At your worst. That's crazy, boy.
Yeah, but that's
the next they had 53. I do the same thing. I make it to the final. Come for it. Matter of fact, I almost come second. I came for it. I went like 24-5. The next person went like 24-4. And the next person going like 24-2.
Wait, no way, boy.
Wait, dog, that is, wait, if you was a Jet Pride, brother, you would have been.
The only person who would have outright beat me, like, even if I gotta get a tech suit on, I probably would have come second. But the only person that outright beat me is Lamar. He was carrying like 22.
Right.
That's Lamar. What? Like, I came for it. So I got DQ. I get 1 DQ. I came second in the 100 fly because Vontae get me in that. And I get 2 forts in the 100 free and the 50 free.
Finals, right.
And after that, it's the appointment time. On to the appointment, doctor sit down, like, he didn't even get to it. He checked the tumor out and this and that. He basically like, he tell me straight up that same day, fight day. He's like, with my pants right there. He's like, that's a rare form of cancer, buddy. We can just have to take this out on my birthday.
Hey, what a birthday present.
On my birthday, baby.
What a birthday present.
Dog, whatever it is. But
On the birthday. I don't know if you ever see that video. On the birthday,
No,
baby.
I don't see the video. No.
On the birthday. I was like, mother sick. I'm like, I was never really, I like a person like, I try not to look in, because you know, people, that's your birthday whenever, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people
But,
is, yeah,
like,
big deal of written.
Yeah, like, I just was always a person who's kind of a little bit more cool off of that.
See him, you do.
But that even make me even more cool off it. Because I was like, and you know how people is like telling me, like, I went back to the pool that day and I was just around.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I always around the pool and stuff like that. And everybody's telling me, oh, nah, nigga, take it out and you will be all right and this, that, and that. Yeah, but like, it's still kind of down. It's like, your birthday, this, that, and that. You don't do nothing after that.
yeah,
You see
but
what I'm saying? And then
know that
the
bug
fact
you,
that
but-
I had to look for money, like my parents had to look for money for surgery and this, that, and the next. And I really should have had it like the week after that, or like the next 2 weeks. I had to wait like almost 4 weeks, because you know you had to come up with
that's true.
the funds
Same
and thing
amount
up.
of money, yeah.
So
Dog,
You know.
whatever it is.
we get into that. I had the surgery. You know, he basically was telling me. I had a couple of appointments after that, and that's when I was home. And he was telling me at my appointments, he told me a couple stuff. He's like, first of all, I shouldn't have been on them pain medication. They could make my situation worse.
Wow. I had a feeling.
Which it probably did.
He's gonna say, I had a feeling.
Right?
I had a feeling.
So I almost couldn't have been on nothing. So I was in pain the whole time. Like that whole month, I was like after nationals, I was in pain the
Understand.
whole time. And like remember I said I was crab walking. The crab walk yet even worse. Like I was literally like, I was bathing like once a week and things, because I couldn't stand. The tub is only be like this big.
Yeah.
So I gotta stand like this and stuff like that. And then you know, that why I just sagging down.
Check right, yeah.
Because it filled with fluid,
Yeah.
pain, the tumor, and that. I was
Hey,
like,
you was
boy,
going through it, boy?
I was like, boy, like I ain't being around the pool. I literally was home every day unless I go into the thing. I didn't come out the house. Barely could take medication. I only could take a certain type of medication, and I then don't like swallow pills and stuff.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah, big man like me being through all this, I still don't like this. Like I was biting them wives, man.
I ain't gonna lie. When I was younger, I had that problem, and then I started to like, okay, but just
It's a real, like,
all the stuff I
it's
been
so
through, I was biting them. But
like that.
I have a question. If you feel like you caught it earlier, would you think it would have been different experience or no?
yeah, it would have been a different experience. It definitely would have, because which I'll get into. That can come up when I explain like the cancer. That can come up because when after I finished the surgery, right? After I finished the surgery, well, before I finished surgery, they basically told me, he basically is like, you know, we don't know,
You're gonna swim again.
because you know, I was fine with that at that time. He was saying that regarding my right testicle, because they were saying I had testicle cancer, which is not really testicle cancer. My cancer just started from that area, because that's generally where this type of cancer starts.
Right.
He was basically saying, boy, you either gonna have it when you wake up or you ain't gonna have it. And he was telling me that for the whole month. When I wake up, but I ain't look down there for about an hour, but I didn't want no. I finally get the thing up. I look, I say, mother sick it in here. So I was like, mother sick.
I really could imagine, bro.
I was like, mother sick, Jed. But it's like, I just described to keep, I was like, boy, and like at the end of the day, how this like, you know, wake it is, be like, you know, two is a blessing. Just like breasts or, you know, anything that you have two of, for the most part, two is a blessing. Like when it comes to organ wise, kidney, two is a blessing.
Yeah.
So it's like, you can still do this and you can still do that, you can still be able to have children, you just can have one. Everybody else do, but you can have one. And I really don't be too down on it. And I really just be open, but I just get off, I just laugh about it. You know.
That's a solid mindset.
Yeah.
But that's the mindset you need, brother.
Yeah.
Like even when I say, hey, and even say, nuts. They be like, no, boy, you mean nutty? To everybody, you know. So it's like, you know, I as a black person, I just laugh with everything,
Yeah.
you know. I try my best too, you know. Until if it get really serious, then that's something different. But,
right?
like for the most part, I just try to laugh about stuff. But you know, I wake up and that happen, but I just get up and I move on. I was out the pool for about 5 weeks. I didn't swim the whole summer. Literally after Nationals, I did not step foot in the pool until like the middle of September after my surgery. They basically cut me right here. Everybody think they just, you know, open your balls up. No, they cut it out, and they pull it out. But yeah, they basically tell me I get swim after like a month. So I get in after about 5 weeks. I was back in the pool. I just wasn't doing nothing hard. I wasn't training nothing hard. I was just getting easy, stuff like that. And then I really started the, you know, Florida around November. And I was almost back to like around the same. Like I wasn't swimming best times because obviously I ain't have training cycles weight.
No.
You know, I ain't have like swimming weight. But I was around there. You know, you got a taper and you know, resting. But taper is basically a rest your body while you're still training. But basically the taper and stuff like that and all of that. You know, to swim at a high level. But I was swimming at a good level for just coming off of surgery and not training that hard. Like I just getting into training. So yeah, I came back and, you know, we just did at school. I swam exhibition because my thing came in late because the NCAA, they really tough. Hopefully they kind of easing up on that now, but they really tough. I didn't get the swim at conference because my stuff got in too late. I got like my NCAA stuff right before a conference, the day before conference started. You know, like entries and stuff got to be in like a week. Yeah. They literally, my stuff came literally the day the entries was supposed to go in. The entries was supposed to go in like 1 o'clock, like that Friday. My stuff came in like 5 or 3 o'clock. So I only get a swim exhibition.
NCAA don't play that.
Exactly.
They don't play that.
So I didn't swim in no meets or nothing. When we had meets, I had to swim like in the middle of the sessions, like and stuff like that. Yeah. Like not even like I just had to swim like it was a practice. Like I couldn't even be on like no like meet thing like I just swam and they just run the diamond thing like in the middle by myself because I couldn't swim at meets.
But they annoying for that, babe.
I mean, I ain't surprised. So that's NCAA.
That's the NCAA, and like they can get in trouble if I do thing up. The school can get in trouble.
But
yeah,
they can't do that.
So up until conference, I did that like twice. Up until conference, the conference is the first time like heats and finals I swam like actually in a race with people, and I was there for 2-3 months. So that went like that. But back to the story. Basically. I went back to school. I went back to school. We was going for a 6 peat in our conference. We already had 5. Whoa! Last time I didn't contribute. The type person is last time I didn't contribute. So I really wanted to be there to contribute. Yeah. And they was really hyping me to come back because it was close. And the crazy part of what it is, me and Lamar, same one I was talking about, right? Lamar Taylor. You all know Lamar Taylor, Olympian, you know. Tennessee, goals with also. University of Tennessee, goals. Yeah. He is swimming for Henderson. He was swimming for Henderson State. He went to Tennessee now. He go to University of Tennessee this year, but he was swimming for Henderson State. Okay. I was on Delta State. We is rivals. Don't like each other.
Oh, okay. That's tough.
One behemoth on one team, one behemoth on the next team.
Rivals.
Crazy.
He been there for way longer than me, so you know he's already established and Lamar faster than me. So you know, yeah. But you know, it was cool. And then we had other behemoth on our team. So you know, we was rivals and we was getting off and we was like, and they was like, where they can beat us and this, that, and the next. So it was kind of important for me to be back because I was a freestyler. Like for points wise, because in college you need all the points you could get, relays and B final, A final, you need all the people you could get. So like my teammates really wanted me to come back and I really was hyped to come back because I actually wanted to contribute. Because the last year, like this is the type of person I is. Like we won. I didn't usually when in swimming we jump in the pool and celebrate. I didn't jump in the pool and celebrate. I didn't even put on the winning t-shirt.
Yeah, I know what you mean. Like afterwards y'all all just jump in the pool. Like I see the videos, I know what you mean. Yeah.
I didn't hold the trophy. I didn't put on the winning t-shirt. Because the type of person I is, it's like
feel like you won't earn it.
I a part of this team. We won, but I ain't did nothing. And that's the type of person I is. Like other people, they'll celebrate. And I ain't gonna thing you for that, but for my thing, I'm
That
not
ain't-
celebrating
yeah.
something I didn't
So
contribute
we a
to.
competitor.
You know.
Yeah.
And they say, oh, boy, get in the pool. Like my assistant coach, you get in the pool. You a part of this team. I said, yeah, a part of this team, but I didn't
Didn't
contribute
contribute.
in the pool. And from my standard, I'm not gonna celebrate that. I can celebrate. I can, I ain't gonna be like
Yeah,
down.
no,
but
but-
I literally stand there and I watch everybody celebrate. I did not put on that shape until we won the next year.
Because
I
you
didn't
contribute.
I didn't put on the championship because we had a yellow championship that year, and then we had a gray one the next year. I didn't wear that yellow one until we won the next year.
Mamba mentality, bro.
Crazy and
I didn't jump in the pool, I didn't celebrate, I didn't hold a trophy until next year when we won. And I think we only won by like 60 points.
Yo, win though.
We win though.
Hey, a win is a win.
It was coming close, but we win though.
Hey, that's tough, bro.
But I literally didn't celebrate that year. So I was determined to come back and win 6 straight. I wanted that ring. So we came back. We got it close. It basically came down the odd because it's swimming and diving. It just ain't swimming and over there.
Oh yeah, right. Diving, yes.
Yeah, so-
I forget, but
It literally came down to us having better divers and more divers. So the
Then we
diving
went
team
technique.
put us over the edge, and that's where we get them.
that's tough.
Tough.
We only got like 5 more minutes. Any other questions you got before you wrap it up?
Hey, that's crazy, babe. So when you to tell your coaches about it,
They didn't know the first time, and then they came back, but nobody was really like
saying nothing.
because I take it out and I was straight. But going into the next year, what actually happened? This is the main part of the story. The other part of the story, that's the side of the story that people don't really know about, because that's when I first had it. That's the first time, like, I would guess, so quote unquote beat it. People know more about this side, but I didn't really get into detail, like, the actual story.
Right.
So basically, I end up feeling like a pain, like right
Yeah.
now. And what happened was, I was feeling it a little while, especially when I laid on for like 2 weeks, and I get waist. And one night I just couldn't take it no more, so I go into one of my boys' dorm, one of the divers, like my boy Brian. It's like, Brian, boy, I am peeing. I was telling all, like, we had like a close little group of friends. They was like swimmers, divers, couple of people who don't swim. Like, just we was cool, and I was like, but I am peeing. But and everybody know I was like, get off. I was a little clown. Just like, but you okay? But I was like, I'm in pain, but
Being serious,
like,
yeah.
ain't nobody taking me serious. So I was like, Brian, take me to the thing up.
Doctor.
Yeah, take me to the hospital. Gone to the hospital. That was like 2 o'clock in the morning, because I was trying to, like, dug it out.
Yeah.
I couldn't dug it out. I was in pain. I
Bad.
couldn't dug it out. They take me to the hospital. I do a scan. This was like 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I was there overnight. I call it international coordinator. Like, if anybody be in the school, you always call like the international person. That's like the person who's dealing with all the international.
Yeah,
like,
I know what
students
you
and
mean. Yeah,
stuff.
you're right.
Like,
Yeah,
international advisor. I know this. Call
No,
it my last school.
I've been to Canada. They had a little different name. I know what you mean. Yeah.
So I called her, and she was there with me, and my other boy who was on the same team, the beam, and he came. So yeah, they tell me I just had a tumor, and I was like, mother sick. Because the crazy part about it is after I get the first day, everybody's like, well, you gonna be done and this, that, the next. Everybody was telling me that.
Yeah.
And when I come back, I say, because I was like, but I know in my life, like, stuff don't go that easy, but like, it just don't be that easy. And I was like, I wasn't wishing it to come back.
No.
But I just like, when they said I was a tumor, like, because I actually thought it was like my appendix at base, because I was kind of in the same era. But it's like, I have a 9-inch tumor. That's almost, big as a phone. It's like, I got a 9-inch tumor. I said, mother sick shit, just right back. So that was like literally the last week before school, and I had exams and stuff like that. But I literally dug it out. I had to tell them I was off a little bit of meds and stuff like that. I had to tell them I sit down there, and I was in R2. So they ain't like you could do that stuff online, dog.
You can't.
Because I was an art major, because that's what digital media I know. So I gone. I had to thug it out a little bit. I tried to finish them in a week. I tell the professors I gotta go. One professor failed me.
You cold.
One
Sick vibe.
professor failed
They
me.
know about the situation.
Yeah, I tell them. I literally went to them in person. I didn't write nothing. I went to them in person. I was like, I feel like this. I leave in.
You ain't cut
I
you
ain't
some
gonna be here.
slack, bro.
Everybody else cut me slack because I actually had a thing to finish. art project to finish. Like I had to make like a sculpture or something, and I only had the pieces out. I never even put it together and do the rest of stuff. And he graded me off of what I had there, like where I was at that point. So you know, I can't fault with that. You know, it's college, as long as I get my credits.
Yeah.
So yeah, I ended up going by my family, and at that point, it was all over the place because this before I know I had rhabdomyosarcoma. I was going to regular doctors. They was telling me this and this, that, and the next, and then you know I started to get sick, and what happened was I started to get the pain again because I was on meds.
Oh,
And I went into a hospital down where we live, and in Florida, and they's like, boy, we gonna have to, you have a tumor, because they do a CT scan. You have a tumor right there. What going on was, they tell me that at the hospital where I was in school, but what happened was, they tell me they couldn't deal with that there. That's why I ended up going down to my family. They's like, boy, we can't deal with this there. And at the time, there was so much going on in the South, because that's like around all of Memphis and Louisiana. And they's like, boy, there's no hospitals for you to go to. So we only could let you out. So I had to go down to my family, and they's like, boy, when this is like almost a month after, this is almost like, you know, this is like 3 weeks after that. I just couldn't deal with the pain, like the thingums wasn't waking, like the pills and stuff wasn't waking. I went into the hospital, and they's like, boy, if I had wait like maybe 3 to 5 more days, I would have had kidney failure, boy. Because what that happened, the tumor was on my
pressure on your kidney.
It was under my kidney, it was on my ureter. Because it traveled up.
Yeah.
It traveled up from here. After they take it out, it was already moving. It was already spreading. So they take it out, but when I had my CT scan in November to check if it was there, it was so small they couldn't see it. It was already moving.
Wow.
So we're going down, this like, boy, this literally get your ureter in a chokehold like this. And you know your ureter is take the urine from your your kidney to your bladder.
Right.
And the ureter is that line.
Yeah, yeah.
If that line crush, then nothing can pass. So my kidney was literally back up. So they put something called a stent. It's something called a stent. They put a stent in my back. They basically put a hole through my back, like a line through my back, a tube into my back, into my kidney, down my ureter,
get it out,
to my bladder, to open up the space. That wasn't even to get it out, to open it up.
Serious, but
yeah, boy, with the tumor there. That was like, usually after that, because they get it. I still have it in, by the way. Usually after that, they just they just like redo it, like to clean it out, because you know foreign objects ain't supposed to be in your body, so they just clean it out like every like 3 months. But what happened with it was, that was the first time, so they had to push through it, painful. I was on stuff, fentanyl, this, that, next, none of that was waking the woman. I was like, because the woman's trying to calm me down. Like I wasn't like frantic, but the woman trying to, she's like, I was like, boy, this can hurt and this and that. She's like, no, it ain't gonna hurt you. You can feel the bed. You can go to sleep.
You could rightfully be frantic. Like what?
I did feel every piece of that. That was like probably out of a couple of worst things I've been through. Like this whole process, that was one of the worst things. Like I would never want to go through that again, because you could feel them. Like you can imagine somebody pushing something through your body, bro, and you could feel it, and they was. And you know, it's squishing your ureter, so they push it, they jabbing the tube down it.
Why the hell they just ain't put you to sleep, boy? What the heck, boy?
They don't put you to sleep for that. Because see, in the hospital, you know, they get certain procedures for that. They get certain type, like, the anesthesia thing up, because they trying to save money, they ain't gonna, you know? So certain procedures don't go through that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
True.
So I had to go through that. I finally was over with. And I had to do that every 3 months. So, you know, I came out the hospital, they put me on that, but they cap it. I supposed to have a bag. So I still was in pain, because they cap it. The problem, it still wasn't draining. It was still too tight. So I end up getting sick, and I had to go back in the hospital like a week and a half later. And that was the point where all the GoFundMe and everything started, because I went in the hospital. I was like, oh, I get school insurance and this, that, and the next. I was in the hospital from around April, May, late April, early May up until I actually got released on my birthday in July. And that's a whole long story. While I was in the hospital, I had sepsis. I don't know if y'all know what sepsis is.
That's I know what it is. I know what you're talking about,
But I
it's like
it's
a contaminated type thing.
Yeah, it's like it's an infection.
Yeah,
It
basically.
could be very deadly. I know if you probably heard about that septic shock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sepsis is the septic shock. Septic shock could kill you.
But,
Leave you in coma type vibes, I believe. Don't quote me on that, I'm no doctor. But yeah. But like, yeah. I had sepsis like over and over and over again. And the crazy part about it is they wanted to start me on chemo.
Oh,
Because my tumor was getting worse, son.
worse.
One day the doctor walking there and like, this is a public hospital. They cool, they deal with you, but like they tell you stuff straight up because they get like 300 other patients.
Yeah.
When they doing their rounds, they come in, the doctor walking there, he's like,
That's what it is.
he's like, Mr. Neely, and my mommy is sitting right there. He's like, Mr. Neely, if you don't get better, like if this infection doesn't go away, you can't do chemo. And I think you will have about 2 months of that if this infection don't go away. Basically saying I get 2 months until this get really deadly and I can't beat it, or I die.
Yeah.
So he was saying like, if I don't beat this infection, and it's hard to beat that infection, I was literally on antibiotics, everything, every day. I was in so much pain, bro.
But
And then out of the blue, the infection ended up like ceasing, and they said, wait, let's get on it.
God got you, brother.
yeah, but
I had this and the infection for a month, but they still had me on antibiotics and stuff like that. But I was on and off that infection, but I was sick.
and just out of
Sepsis,
nowhere.
fever, everything, just bad sepsis. Like, if the people they know, like, if you say sepsis,
No,
like, people
yeah,
die from sepsis.
I didn't do my research. Yeah.
Yeah, so like that's a serious infection, and I had like other infections on the top of that.
Oh, jeez.
So basically, it ended up clearing up because I was on like 3 different antibiotics like every day. I was like connected to the vibe in the hospital every day. I was in the hospital every day. Like I said, I was in there for almost 3 months. One day it cleared up. They hopped me on chemo because they ready was preparing. I was supposed to go on chemo from like the first week. I didn't start chemo until like June 1st. I was supposed to start chemo from like when I first get into there.
Like May,
And that's a month.
Yeah.
So I go on the chemo, and basically my chemo, they were trying to send me to Moffitt. Moffitt is a big like high. They basically
Chemo,
specialize in cancer. It's like one of the biggest cancer
Where
facilities
exactly
on
is in the
this.
States?
Huh?
Where exactly it is?
Tampa.
Damn.
So they're like one of the biggest like facilities in the States. So they're trying to get me to go there. But that was the whole problem on the whole. Even later on in my story, because I ain't from the States.
Right.
So it's hard to, especially Florida. I ain't from the States and I ain't from Florida.
Right.
So it's especially hard to get like medical treatment and understanding next. That's where the problem come in. And that's why I started to go fund me. One day they walk in there. On the top of that, after it's like, must see like a week after I do my chemo. First chemo, going through that, I was good. I was on my phone, everything I was eating. I remember I make a post. I was like, I have my finger up, I was like this. I was like, boy, this chemo ain't nothing, but I can,
Oh, shoot.
Listen, my phone ain't on me for 5 days after that.
Hey,
5 days, bro.
Wait, you was a strong dude, brother.
Come back. The lady tell me must see the next week. They like, because the lady used to do it around. They was trying to send me in for Medicaid, this kid, that kid. I was like, bro, every day somebody trying to, come in there. She say, boy, she come in there one day. She's like, oh, yeah, stuff. This ain't going through. I said, what ain't going through? She's like, not your Medicaid and this, that, and the next. Matter of fact, that didn't even happen yet. This is after that. I'm mixing it up. There's so much going to happen. They come in there and they tell me my insurance ain't thing.
Oh, but
Because they was doing the Medicaid, they was signing me up for that stuff and thing too. But they didn't come with that yet. They assign me, they say my insurance ain't thing. They denying everything.
Right.
Because I had a pre-existing condition. And what happened was, and this a little knowledge too. If you got insurance, I went to school, my insurance only lasted for 6 months.
oui.
When I went to school, I had insurance in 2022 to 2022 August. When I broke the coverage and got back on it, and I dealt with my cancer, they claim it was pre-existing because I wasn't on the coverage. So I ended up breaking that coverage, and I didn't go back to school and continue that coverage. That literally, so they say we're not covering nothing, literally because I didn't go to school. That thing up and extended the coverage because the coverage is only for 6 months.
Right.
So they say, but yeah, everything pre-existing, we ain't covering nothing, hospital bills, nothing, and that's when they started to GoFundMe. And the thing about the GoFundMe was that was actually supposed to be for my hospital bills. That was literally just for my hospital bills. I don't know how I was going to deal with nothing else. And then I saw the hospital bills.
Oh,
and I was like, boy, I don't know. They sent me the first hospital bill, my hospital bill when I was in there from the whole of May. $400,000. I say, no way. I say, just make my $50,000 that I raised look puny. So, I basically had to come up with a thing because I got denied by Morfit. Coverage, denied in coverage from my, I wouldn't say my school, but the scrutiny I was on from school. So I had to figure stuff out, you know. And I was kind of thinking, everybody was kind of thinking, people saying to go from people saying, you know, because they look a certain way and this, that, and the next. But it's like, boy, that's my last choice. Especially being over here, that's my last choice. I started to go from, it's like, I wasn't even expecting to get that much, you know, love and this, that, and the next. I really, you know, no one guy, I don't be around this, that, and the next. I kind of stay to myself. Like, I don't be around, you don't really see me out like that. I'd be out here and there. You know, but I kind of stay to myself.
Right.
So,
you know,
wait.
you expect like a person with no name to like, you know, but I was like, but I know as a swimmer and this, that, and the next, but I wasn't expecting to get like, even especially a swimmer, I was expecting to raise like $3,000 because I look at I was in the bed, I looking at it, like, that was like one day I cried, but I was like, boy, like this really gonna be it? But I was like, bro, this is my last choice, I can start this. You know, I sent it to my team, I started sending it out, I posted on Facebook. I had a short message. I was like, you know, you can't do everything by yourself. Sometimes you just need help. Because at that point, people didn't even know I had cancer. I was laying up in the bed. People didn't even know I wasn't okay. Like, even people like I talk to consistently.
Every day.
Didn't know.
Like, only certain people that know what was going on. And everybody's like, what? Time I had this from 2022, the start of 2022.
Nice.
You see what I'm saying? So, I was trying to keep it, but I couldn't.
Keep it under wraps no more.
It's only so long you could have your pride, and I had to put my pride aside. And it's like, you know. That's how the GoFundMe came up, and you know that did help me get through my chemo and stuff like that. Because on the top of that, that wasn't no regular chemo. They say, but you young, you strong, you's an athlete.
Oh, you can get the worst of the worst.
With this, nah. So they say, boy, but they basically do. My chemo, in short form, was triple dose.
Wait.
And they I had 14 rounds. I did 14 rounds because just finances, but they triple dose, and chemo expensive. So what I did, I had to figure out a way around it. I basically was working with Morfit. They were sending the plans to the hospital and my outpatient doctor. So I had an outpatient oncologist, and I was in what I do, I'll do, because what I did, I had 3 different types of chemo.
Right.
Vincristine, cyclophosphamide, and what do you call it again? Dactylomycin. Them 2 was expensive. The last 2 was expensive. They tell me it was gonna cost like upwards of almost $7,000 each every round. I was like, just for that. That ain't nothing else. That ain't nothing else. Just for that them 2 specific chemo together. And they say even one of them might be cost $4,000 each. So it's like, this like the best thing for you to do. I had to take Vincristine basically my cycle was every 3 weeks. Yeah. I take all one time, like every chemo one time. That would take like almost like the full day. If I start chemo like 5 o'clock, I would end like early in the morning, like the next morning. Fluids, all kind of other stuff, that type of way. Yeah. I would take that in the hospital. So I'd go into the hospital, meaning like I had to go into the emergency. I would sit there, like if I come there 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock a day, I wouldn't get into the actual, like my bedroom where I can stay until like the next morning. So I'd sit there all day. What? Because that's just how I had to do it. That's how I had because I ain't had the money to like spend that. Even though I had $50,000, that was gonna go in like 4 rounds, bro.
Like that, yeah. That's
like,
it.
So I was like, boy, I gotta go through this. So that just was natural to me. I would sit there and like, I never like my mommy and like I had other little family there, but I just never wanted like nobody there. So I just used to sit there by myself.
Just
You
in
know,
pain.
because like, you know, if you sit there with like your mommy and something like that, they can be like, oh, you alright and this, that, and that. I just wanted
Just
to be
want
in
the
my
quiet
own
time,
little-
right?
Nobody
So I just
vibes.
used to go there. When I used to do my chemo, I did it by myself almost every round except the first one. I did by myself. Like I'd sit there and I'd just come out the hospital and they'd just pick me up. But I'd be in the hospital like just to get chemo. People don't go in the hospital for chemo. If they in the hospital, like they just stay there for the chemo because they already in the hospital.
Right.
But I was going into the hospital and coming out, so I had to get admitted, go through all of that, take scans to stand the next every time, to stand the next. You know, stay there like I sick or something, and then in the hospital over there, they don't let you out unless you good.
Yeah.
So if I have a fever, I cannot go home.
You gotta go home.
So I just come there for chemo, but you know, chemos make you sick. So I go through all type of different stuff, like you know, your hair drop out. You know, I watch my dreads just literally fall out. Like I plucked them out my head after my second round. I just plucked them out my head. Like I was getting fed up with it. Like your whole mindset just changed. Like I didn't love my hair. I didn't even know why I plucked my hair out. Like I just plucked them out. People say, "Why you cut your hair?" I say, "I didn't cut my hair, but I just plucked. I literally plucked the dread one by one out my head."
Wow.
So, yeah, but it was like a lot, like lose your eyebrow, lose your eyelash. You know, I developed this vibe where I was spitting, like after chemo, like I would spit for like a week and a half, like continuously. My mouth would be filled with
liquid.
saliva.
Liquid saliva.
Like I can't, like I would wake up, pillow, thing. I had to put like a bucket on the side of my bed to like spit in, like and I'd just be spitting. Cause every like how I talking right now, like if I say one sentence,
You gotta
I gotta
spit.
spit. And all I can taste is chemo. Everything I do, chemo in it.
Right.
You poop, chemo in it. Everything chemo in it. And like you bet like it feel like you get like the flu. Like I was having like heat flashes, like I would be laying on the bed, I'd have like heat flashes, like it's like just feel bad. Lose weight, like tired, like I couldn't even take a 5-minute shower. Like I remember I going from 190 to 135.
It's a lot, bro.
Wait, that's a serious drop
Like-
in weight. Wait.
Like right now I 150 something. I been around that same weight since I like stopped chemo like my last couple of rounds. But like I was 190 boy. So you know I just look at myself and be like dead small. Like I was 190 boy. You know this go to 190
That's
to
a lot, bro.
even 155 areas, nah. So, you know, I was going through that. And then the crazy part that I never really talked about, last year, November, I was on my 7th round. I was going to do my, was that 7th round? No, I think my 8th round. I was going to do my 8th round. I ended up didn't doing my 8th round. No, my bad. I was on the 7th round. This was last October, 2023. I sit down, I was doing the last thing I was doing, the cycle, Mosified was the last one. I was sitting down, and my heart just stopped. I sit there, my heart literally just stopped, bro. And the crazy part about it, I didn't even react to it, like, cause I like for me today, I don't even know how I got through all of that. Because like I feel the after effects after. Like I feel like I was way better mentally when I was going through what I was going through than now. Like I feeling everything after, like getting back into regular life and this and the next. Well, at least trying my best, you know, still got some stuff to deal with, but at least trying to get back to regular life. I feel in more than mental weight now. Because like I was just like so on. When my heart stopped, the nurses come rushing in. Because you know, I had a heart
Right,
monitor
yeah, so
on.
you had a thing,
So,
yeah.
but I looking at the heart monitor, right? The thing going flat, bro. Why going flat? I say, mother sick, why going flat for about 7 seconds?
Yeah.
She come in the room, she unhooked the chemo bag. She said, you don't need to do no more. You don't need to do no more. You didn't feel like, I was like, you didn't feel nothing? And I lying or no? She could see the thing. I know why I lying. I was like, no, I ain't feel nothing.
Thought you super bad.
I ain't even freak out, no nothing. I literally, my heart stopped. Like, I had like an outer body experience, but I was gearing up.
Yeah.
I was like, and I just stopped like this. I look at the hard monitor, flat. She come, and then, like I say, she come in the room, freaking out, take the wipe down. She's like, you know, we stopping this thing. She immediately stopped the button, beep, stop the wipe, say, you ain't doing no more of that. I was at the end. I only had like about 10 minutes left, but she's like, no, you stopping
That's
that.
enough.
And then when they came back for the next round, it's like, boy, you're not doing no chemo, bro. He's like, you could develop like a heart problem and all that. You might have a heart problem. Because that's how serious chemo is, like,
Chemo don't play, boy.
like, and especially like how I was getting, like, cause the last chemo I was getting like double that.
Right.
I was getting double with the averages or like triple it. I can't remember, but yeah, so I was getting more than what regular people is taking, and I was taking the vincristine 3 times. Like I was getting the regular dose 3 times, so I was getting that every week. So I was literally taking that every week for about 8 rounds. You only really supposed to get that once.
Once, yeah.
So I like that's what's the crazy part about it. So I had like what regular people like. I ain't down on other people who do like chemo and stuff like that.
Sure,
But
like you had like an intense.
yeah,
You had an intense course doing all of that. Bro.
and like when like that started from in the hospital, so I just was like out of it, bro. And then I didn't realize it till like towards the end, and you know. The crazy part about it is I was living with my auntie, and the biggest part was they have my surgery to take out the tumor after the chemo finishes off. I was like, but I tired of doing chemo because I look at my auntie, she ain't really my blood auntie, but she's who took me in when I came down to the States. You know, she helped me and she cooked for me and this, that, and the next, and you know, she helped out my mommy and me, and you know, she just was there for me.
She stepped up.
Yeah, she was God's, and she's like, you know.
Thank God.
God say,
Thank God
to
for
bring you here. And the crazy part about it is, you know, I came there and what happened was she was on dialysis. Like she needed a kidney transplant herself.
Whoa.
So I was dealing with cancer. She was on dialysis and stuff like that. And the day I know I was gonna stop was the day I was sitting down and I was getting my last chemo because I stopped in December. My heart got better in the stand next, and they allowed me to start it. I did 2 in February and March, and I was sitting down, right before my chemo, after my chemo, and I saw her, right. They called her for her kidney transplant. After about 7 years.
Wait,
and I was like, boy, I'm not doing ounce of chemo no more. I ready for my surgery. I was like, something, God tell me, it's time for my surgery. And that's when the whole new part of the, you know, thing came. That's when the stressful part, like the mental part come, because it's like, I was just sitting there, no chemo, no nothing, because I said I wasn't doing no chemo. I do 9 rounds. I'm not going to 14, because my body was just
getting mashed
right down, deteriorating. Like, I could just feel it, like, you know, being an athlete, I know where I was. So I was like, well, I can't do this no more. I just ready to be done. I want to have my surgery. And I literally been through so much, because, like, I even reached a point that I found a little loophole in my thing, in my insurance for school, which a lawyer helped me figure out as a family friend, Giselle, appreciate you. She actually looked through like my the thingums, and she was like, oh, they said pre-existing conditions could get covered
Okay.
after a full year.
Yeah.
So I was like, boy, I need to hurry up, settle down on this. We started the thingum claims, because they was denying
Paperwork.
everything. We started to do that and this, that, and next. But that was already like March, April. My insurance was up in English that is. But my insurance was up in August 1st.
August, right.
So we was rushing. And the insurance company was meaning to take long.
Yeah, so you could.
So everything didn't start coming through until May.
But God did though.
And I did that in
Amen.
March. Like I go into in March. So I was still trying to figure out how to, like, you know, have my surgery. Because like they was telling me like my surgery gonna be like over like 50 grand. At the end of the day, it was gonna be like 140 something grand.
Right.
Because they was telling me, oh, I need a down payment, this, that, and next. And I can't go everywhere for my surgery.
No, you
and
gotta stick with people
that
who
was the
do
biggest
that.
part about my cancer. Like, it's rare, so everybody can't deal with it.
No.
It ain't like, you know, Satan or the cancers
Even if
where
it wasn't rare,
it
like-
more, you know,
Yeah.
it more like thing on where, you know, like literally nobody deals with that in Nassau. That's how rare that is.
Right.
Like, oncologists know about it, but like, you need I have to go to a sarcoma. Like surgeon, I gotta go to a sarcoma doctor. So, yeah, I had it's only so much places, and Moffett was the place where I was already at, so I was trying to go there, and that was just a headache on. I was trying to find every loophole. I was trying to get like residency, this, that, and the next.
Anything,
I was typing up. I was researching. I was talking to people, some friends, family, everywhere. Like we was trying everything. Like we tried, like I was literally fighting for my life. Like typing every day, sending stuff to like figure out like how I can get this thing out my body. Like I'm ready to be done, and it was so frustrating, bro.
I make it a margin game.
And it came to the point that they started to pay for the stuff.
Oh,
the insurance. They started to redo some of the claims, so they paid for everything after that year of the pre-existing clause.
That's how to wrap it up. Yeah, we ain't want to cut you too short, but yeah, we going a little by time because we have to be out here. But like, we can let you like say a couple of more things. So.
I this why I belong.
Yeah, we understand. We gotta have you back though.
We have to have you back.
We gotta have you back for sure.
But yeah, so basically going on with that, with the insurance, basically it was too late.
Yeah.
So yeah, it ended up thinking, man. But we figured it out.
All right, so we're gonna wrap this one up. Unfortunately, the man has a lot. He has a lot to tell y'all. We gonna have him back.
We gotta have him back.
Long story, you know.
Yeah, it's a really long story.
He do a part 2 or something.
Nope.
A part 2. That's what it is. Thank you very much.
A part 2 coming. We appreciate having you. We appreciate having you, bro. But this the man, Shawn Neely. Like you said,
the myth, the legend, babe. Everything, brother.
Go look him up.
You trying to get that? I know he's a legend.
Yeah.
But he was a legend, but you survived cancer, brother.
Yeah, but you's a legend.
You was a legend, brother. Wait, anybody who survived cancer, but is a legend at the end of the day, brother.
Yeah.
Cancer ain't no play thing, brother.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. But with that being said, we're gonna wrap this one up. We appreciate you guys' love once again. Thanks for watching. A prayer day keeps the haters away.
Amen.
One love.
One motion.
We out here.
Amen. Amen.